welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, then a very big hello. My name is Louise. Me and my partner Jake moved from the UK to Canada over a year and a half ago, and I document it all here on my YouTube channel. And I have recently started travel vlogs where we try and do as many adventures as we can in Ontario. So if you want to see what we've been up to, then make sure you go and hit the playlist of travel vlog. I will leave it in the eye and I'll leave it down below also. So today I thought I would bring you a really fun video, just because we've been doing a lot of vlogging recently, so I thought it would be good to sit down and actually chat to you guys. And I thought this would be a really fun video to film. Now, I actually got this idea from another YouTuber. His name is Joseph D. Benedictus. I can't say it, I apologize. I'm gonna leave him down below and his video down below also. But basically, him and his American friend, they talk about Canadian stereotypes and if they are true. So I thought this would be a really good video to react to, and coming from a British person, so a British person reacts to Canadian stereotypes. And I've been living in Canada now for a year and a half, so I I'm a great example to see if these stereotypes are real, because I am new to the country, so if I know about them, then obviously they do exist. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch this video. I will insert bits of it in this video as well so you can see what I'm watching, and then I will let you know if I think this stereotype is real for Canadians or not, as someone who's recently moved to the country from England. Now, before I start this video, I just want a really quick disclaimer. This is just for fun. I don't want to be insulting anyone. Me and my partner Jake moved here to Canada. We absolutely love it. We love the lifestyle. We don't want to go back to the UK. This is all a bit of fun. I will link this video down below if you want to go watch the whole video, because obviously I'm just going to be jumping in and out of it. But it is a really fun video. I'm so glad I watched it and I'm so glad I found it. So let's get on to the video.
Is it true that every single Canadian, no matter where they are, has Tim Hortons in their hand?
How dare you! Oh. No, that was a fluke.
You made a whole bit for it with a separate cup? You thought this through.
Fine, all right? You're not wrong. Yes, we have a lot of...
Okay, so the first stereotype is that does every Canadian have a Tim Hortons in their hand? So if you don't know what Tim Hortons is, it's basically a coffee shop. It's basically like a cheaper version of Starbucks. We have them in the UK and they're called Costa. I absolutely love Costa so much. And that is what I would compare it to. So Tim Hortons is basically a Canadian version of Costa. Now, moving over to here in Canada, the very first morning we woke up, we seen Tim Hortons absolutely everywhere. There was one to the left of us in our Airbnb, the right of us, down the road, behind us. Like, there were Tim Hortons everywhere. We guessed it was like a donut chain to start with, because when we went in there, there was like loads of donuts and cookies. And then we found out very quickly that it was a like the #1 coffee shop here in Canada. We are definitely becoming Canadians, because we get Tim Hortons, I would say, every other day at least, sometimes every day. It's just so cheap, so convenient. It's a drive-through. They do the best oatmeal raisin cookies, and they've also got these things called Timbits. They're like the middle of the donut and they taste so good. But like a small coffee is like $1.20, which is ridiculous. That's like 70p, and it's proper filtered coffee. They have salted caramel frappes, and oh my goodness, their menu is so good. I was actually thinking about only eating Tim Hortons for 24-hour video. So if you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comments, because I'm definitely up for doing that challenge. But yes, I do think that is a very good stereotype. I think it is true, coming from here and seeing it myself. Everybody loves Tim Hortons. Some people call it Timmy's over here. Literally, without a doubt, one of the managers will come in with a Tim Hortons a day where I work. Sometimes that's me. On my lunch break, I run out and get an iced coffee. They are literally everywhere. I actually think they're more popular than Starbucks over here. I know that's a big statement, kill me if you want, but I actually think that they're absolutely huge over here. And Tim Hortons is definitely a stereotype that I would tick true to from the outside looking in. Next stereotype.
Because of my living in Buffalo, I'm so self-conscious of the way I speak now, more than I've ever been in my life. Because I'm the outsider and I can hear everything that I'm saying that sounds Canadian.
Okay, but at least for my perspective, it comes from a complete place of love. We absolutely love hearing when you talk with your Canadian accent. I do. It's awesome.
Do I have a Canadian accent right now?
There's very subtle undertones of, like, I could tell. You definitely don't have the letter Kenny draw.
Yeah, I have the letter Kenny draw.
Okay, so the second stereotype, I guess, is accent. Yeah, so the second stereotype is like a Canadian accent, if it's different to the American accent. And I guess this clip was quite hard because one's an American and one's a Canadian, so they can definitely tell the difference. I know a lot of people over here think that my accent sounds like an Australian accent. And then for me, as an English person, I think we sound so different. So it's kind of the comparison of that. So I do, no one bite my head off, no one dislike this video, but I actually think Americans and Canadians sound very, very similar. I can definitely tell the difference between like a Southern American accent, like to a New York kind of accent, and then to a Canadian accent. But they are very, very similar, and I can see why people confuse them, because they do sound so similar. I don't want to say that too much because I know you guys would probably hate that. It's basically Canadians looking at like English people and Australians and saying that they sound the same, because apparently to them we do. So, and for me, and I'm guessing Australians can definitely tell the difference between us both. That's exactly the same as us, well, myself looking at Americans and Canadian accents. I think they're very, very similar. I can definitely confuse the both, and I can tell different twangs here and there. But just listening overall, I think they are very similar, and I don't think there is a Canadian accent for me, like when I'm listening to it. And a lot of people have asked me if I've picked up any of the Canadian accent, and I don't think I have, not one bit. I think a few people have mentioned in videos here and there that I've said a few words that sound Canadian, but I couldn't even put on a Canadian accent if I tried. So a few people in my old workplace tried to like teach me a Canadian accent, and the furthest I got was saying coffee in a Canadian accent, and that was it. And that was even awful. I can't believe I just did that on this video. So yeah, I don't think there is, from me, a Canadian accent. So I'm gonna mark that false, because I can't tell the difference between American and a Canadian accent. So I don't think that's a stereotype. Maybe I got the wrong end of that stick, but yeah, moving on.
So when you're born, does Canada just give you a pair of hockey skates, or is it like you kind of earn them over the years? Like, I assume everyone plays hockey. So
the next stereotype is that does everybody play hockey over here in Canada? I guess it's because obviously hockey is a big community over here. Me and Jake still haven't had the chance to go watch a game. We really, really wanted to go watch the Leafs play, but because of the pandemic, unfortunately, we haven't been able to. But fingers crossed we might be able to next season. It's the stereotype that everybody plays hockey over here. I think that's false from me looking in. I probably know one person that plays hockey, and that was in my old workplace. She moved from up north to down south to play in a team here. But apart from that, I've not met anybody else that plays hockey. So I don't know if that stereotype is true. I know there's incredible hockey players over here. There's so many amazing teams, but the fact that everybody plays hockey, I don't think so. I've moved over during the pandemic where all of the sports have kind of shut down. So maybe I haven't experienced a proper winter and seen everybody on like ice lakes playing hockey. But it is a very big stereotype. You see it in so many movies. It's a good stereotype though. I absolutely love hockey, and I wish that everybody played hockey, and I can't wait to go to my first Leafs game. I'm so excited. And when it's that time, we're gonna get season tickets for the Ice Dogs, just because we're super close to them and means that we can go and see them every week. But yeah, that's that.
American.
So do all Canadians say A? At some point, right?
This is true. It's true.
The next stereotype is does all Canadians say A? Now, I have met so many Canadians over here that say that is just such a stereotype. We don't say A all the time. But you are so wrong, because even if you don't think you're saying it, you do say it without realising. And I picked that up a few times because some of my old work friends were like, we never say A, we never say A. Then 2 seconds later, they would be like, I'm going on lunch, eh? and then I'll be like, see, you do say it. So I think it's one of those words that automatically comes out of your vocabulary and you don't realize you're saying it, because I have even picked up on the saying A. Like, I ring home and I say A, Jake notices it all the time. I'll be like, A, and I've like literally turned half Canadian with this word. I don't know what this word means. Some people from home have asked me why I say A and what it means. I don't know the definition of it. I don't know if any Canadians know the definition of it. It is just a random word at the end of things that just makes sense over here, and it's just normal. So that stereotype is getting a big tick from the outside looking in. You say A all the time, even if you don't want to admit it, you do. But it's not a bad thing. It's quite a fun word. If anybody who's watching this knows what it means, then leave it down in the comments, because I'd love to know. And I've started to say it, so it's definitely a stereotype. I've got it from somewhere, so you guys must be saying it. So yeah, I think that stereotype is true.
Hey.
Do you guys just go around hunting beavers and then putting them up on your walls, like the tail?
Excuse me?
The beaver tail? Like, what is the beaver tail?
So another stereotype is beaver tails. Now, I heard of this before I came over from the UK, and I never knew what it was. The same as this gentleman here, the American, I thought it was exactly the same. I thought it was people that hunt beavers, cut off their tails, and hang it up as like a victory thing. I didn't actually know what a beaver tail was until I moved over to Canada, and it's actually a food. And it's not a real beaver tail. We're not eating beaver tails. So beaver tails is like I want to say it's like a fried donut. So it is, I've actually had one in one of my vlogs. I can definitely do a video of trying all the different flavors. If you guys want to see that, I can definitely do that, because I love beaver tails. So I will happily order every single one on the menu. But basically it's a flat donut and you can have toppings on it. So I had like Nutella, I think, and banana. And it's basically like a pancake or a crepe, but it's more crispy and it's more of a donut texture. There is like a branded like hut around places. It's like a red hut, it says beaver tails. You can buy them in like shopping malls. They have them down in Clifton Hill and Niagara Falls, but it's basically a donut. The stereotype of Canadians always eating them, I don't think are true. I see them more of like a touristy thing, like you see them in like the tourist areas and people take pictures with them. It's not one of those things that you're sat at home and you're like, oh, I fancy a beaver tail, so I'll go get one tonight. It's more like the tourist attraction of it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, all of this is my own opinion, what I think looking outside to the in as a British person living in Canada. But I don't think it's one of those things that Canadians crave and want. If anything, there is some Canadians I know that have never even tried them. So I don't think they are like a Canadian stereotype. I just think there's something that's created and now it's like a very touristy thing, like you're gonna go to Canada, so you wanna try a beaver tail. I literally think it's like that. But like I said, I can do a whole video on beaver tails because I can eat them all day long. They are delicious. They've probably got a lot of calories in them, but they are super fun and they're not animal. No animals are harmed during the process of making beaver tails. And yeah, I don't think, I'll give that a stereotype an X, because I don't think Canadians like have them all the time. Yeah.
Do all Canadians eat poutine for just about every meal, or at least every day?
No, that's a half true.
Every other day.
As you know, because I brought you to Montreal.
Okay, so the next stereotype is another food stereotype, and that is poutine. Poutine is also another food dish that's obviously been created by Canadians. To us, as British people looking in, it's something that we kind of have up north in the UK. It's basically chips, cheese, and gravy. But the Canadians will argue with you, because I have been argued with at work, and it's basically, it is fries, French fries, and then it's like mozzarella, don't laugh at me Canadians, churds? I'm gonna write the word here. So it's like little mozzarella balls instead of like grated cheese, and then it's like a thick gravy, a thin gravy on top. As at home we use like a thicker gravy, and it tastes so freaking good. So good. Jake, I think, prefers our English chips, cheese and gravy because he doesn't like the mozzarella circles because they are quite big and they don't melt on the chips. They kind of just lay on the chips. They call them fries. Sorry, I'm still getting used to that word. So the stereotype is, do all Canadians eat poutine? It is on most menus. I think you can get poutine in every fast food place. McDonald's, Harvey's, Popeyes. You can get it in a lot of restaurants. And like I said with all the other things, if you want me to do a video on poutine, I'll happily do it. Rating the best poutine in the area, I can definitely do that. But it's more of a stereotype that, it's more true of a stereotype than the BEAVERTAILS. Like, I don't think BEAVERTAILS are eaten all the time, but I do think poutine is ordered by a lot of Canadians. We went to the Speedway in Merrittville a few weeks ago, if you watched that vlog, and a lot of people ordered poutine. Like, I looked around and so many people had poutine. So I think it is a true, and that's gonna get a tick, stereotype, because I honestly think that Canadians do order it and they do enjoy it, and it is one of their dishes that is, people come over to Canada for poutine, and it's really good. I recommend for you to try it over here. It's not just chips, cheese and gravy. It does taste a little bit different than that, yeah. So there is so many other stereotypes, Canadian stereotypes. So if you want me to do a part 2, let me know down in the comments. But I'm gonna keep this video short and sweet, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the thumbs up, and I'll make sure I will do a part 2. And if you're new here, I'd love you to hit subscribe. I do new videos every single week. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to go and follow me over on Instagram. It's Louise94, and I will see you next week with a new video. Bye.